had to open the door.
Nah, you're good. You're good. I
So
just had
I,
to.
again, I don't even bless y'all heart, because, and I don't even, you guys have done all of this, grew up in this, made transitions in this and all of that, right? So I guess now I can pose a question. What is it? How is it that you are safeguarding your children now from the world that they now live in, based on your
Teaching
current
them their
experience?
Oh, go ahead, Impossible.
teaching them their culture and their heritage, giving them principles to live by that they can fall on, giving them a central point, giving them a point of connecting their own heritage. If you don't connect your heritage to where you're going, that's you could take you're not able to tell Asians their history. You're not able to tell Europeans their history. Melanated people fight over their history, what is and what's not. You don't tell the Wahiti tribe about their history, they tell you their history. And because of that, they have raised generations that protect their history.
Facts.
So when we begin to raise our youth to protect and understand their inheritance and their culture, their heritage, and be able to walk in confidence in their culture, and it will be okay for you to be in your culture and it be all right. That's the beginning. When we can teach our youth that now, principles, culture, and heritage. Principle, culture, and heritage. That's what our youth.
That's man. I'm having a Queenie moment. I can't be talking after you, bro. Nah, seriously though, like when it comes down to for me teaching my kids anything, I try to teach them the understanding of the world that I know. So that way with that they know how to maneuver while at the same time they also experience it. Because I mean we're all gonna have our own experiences in the world. Now with it, our experiences will be based off of our personality and the way that we comprehend things. Now, granted, my son, he has a personality like mine, but he doesn't think like me. My daughter, that's me through and through. That's me and my mom through and through. Like, woo, she is a handful. Now, the way that they would live life, the if my daughter and my son were standing next to each other, the way that my son would want to do something, my daughter most likely would be thinking of something completely different, probably a little bit more on the physical side. So therefore, their experiences would end up being different based off of what they want or based off of the response that they want to give or even that they do give, you know? So with it, I lay it out like, okay, I do story time, get throw examples in there so that way they can understand like, okay, these are things that can happen that actually happen in the world. So that way they're not actually having to deal with the physical consequences of it, but with it, I'll play those consequences out in the story time so that way they have an understanding, an idea without actually having to go through that in life. That way they can get a better understanding and grasp the knowledge that I have of situations that can happen out in the real world. Now, there's going to be times where they go into the real world and they're going to end up running across things that I have not gone through. With that, I will, because just like how Mr. Sigmalino said, there's a lot of things that they are exposed to that we were not growing up. So they're going to have a lot of experiences that I'm most likely not going to have, or I might have later on in my life as technology continues to grow. I mean, I can't. We all remember when you can type in, usually literally type a text message without looking at it because you have to hit them so many times in order to get the next letter. They don't have that. So I mean, with it, the things that they have access to are different than things that we have access to. So to be able to teach them things
Mm.
that I'm aware of, I'm unable to. But I can only really inform them of the things that I am aware of, and I can also, based off of the discernment and the knowledge I have on the way that things work, when certain situations arise and they're by me, I can inform them, be like, that might not be a good idea. Oh, why isn't that a good idea? The the things that the things that are coming through my mind of the possibilities that could happen, none of them seem like it's going to weigh out very in a positive way. So I've never lived that. I've never done it and have not lived through it. But example, if you went to the carnival and you see the Ferris wheels going round and round, but it's like kind of jerking from time to time, and you saw a boat fall off, are you gonna be like, I want to ride that one? Let's go ride this one. You don't want to test it on if that situation is going to turn out to be bad, but based off of the things that you're seeing, you're like, and I feel like with me with parenthood, that is it. I'm going to allow you to live, but I'm going to also tell you from based off of my observations, things that just don't look right. Now, granted, just like Mr. Sigmalino said earlier, sometimes you haven't gone through things, so you kind of tell them not to do something because you kind of feeling it out. Like, all right, is the water hot? Is it cold? Oh no, that water too damn hot. Hey, y'all ain't getting in here. This water hot. So, but I mean, the best way from that what I'm doing to raise my children is to be there as much as I can, do the things that I did not really have coming up, or I felt that I did not have coming up. And then also at the same time, trying to teach them as much as I can about how the way the world works, and also elevate their mind to where they can start seeing these things at a younger age, to where now they're going to be past me by the time that they reach where I am. Does that make sense? Queenie, Judith, you got anything?
Yeah. Got anything about what?
Oh, I was asking Judith if she had
No,
anything.
I just said no, I was saying, yeah, like
Oh,
about what you said.
oh, okay. Well, you said got anything about what? I was asking Judith if she had anything to add on that. I'm not sure if she still can hear us.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can hear you. Let Queenie go
okay.
ahead because you called her name first.
Yeah. Oh no, I saw Queenie, like her eyes kind of lit up. So I was like, Queenie, that's why I pulled her up. But no, if
Well, yeah, no, I didn't have anything in particular to say. I was shaking my head in agreement to what you said. It probably could be this light, and or like I put my head down and you saw my eyes or
nah, you
something.
good. Like my wife be doing that to me because with my glasses, when the light hits it, she be like, "You look like a cute little anime character." When when the light covers completely, so you can't see their eyes, like how yours kind of just did. That's what I thought of. Like, but no, I actually saw you like go like this, and I was just like, okay. But yes, Judith Robbins, you got anything to add?
Yeah, you talking about using your finger for a text message, man. I started out with a typewriter, the beginning. I learned how to type that way and follow technology through to where it is today. Toodles was tearing some stuff up. She was tearing some stuff up. But let me say this, and hopefully I can come back to what Toodles was said. But I saw something the other day. Somebody sent me a video
Mm-hmm.
of the mother, the father, the child, grandma taking a child to school for the first day of kindergarten. There was so much family dynamics in that video that I know it pissed the devil off. Because at that moment, and yes, that was a grandma on the phone too. At that moment, everybody in that child's classroom saw that that little boy is loved. That little boy has support. That little boy's sister gave him a hug. And siblings don't normally do that. It's a whole lot of love. And that right there is the key thing that will keep a person on track. Knowing that they are loved and that people support them, their family supports them. The family has confidence in them. It raises the self-esteem, but it also gives um, something that cannot be taken away. Love. You'll think twice before you do something bad when you know that you got those people behind you rooting for you every day, believing in you. And I think that's something that we're missing right now is that love, that genuine love. Because a lot of people don't. I can't get a day off to take my child to school. I can't be there with my kid when he get home from school. That's when your kid needs you the most. That's when things start to happen. And not even to mention the classroom. That teacher, she sees, you know what? I got a whole lot of people to go through if I mess it up with this one. And that teacher won't. It'll be more respect for that family. It will also show people that, you know what, y'all talking about black folk don't care about their kids. That's a lie, because I just saw it today. The generations, the family and the generations that were involved with that child's life. And that's what we have to do. We have to do that. Show them love. It's a lot of stuff out there on the internet. But if we show that love and teach them the principles of life, morals, and beliefs, values, they will think twice before they engage in something. Teach them to be alert. It's a lot that's not being taught to children that should be taught to children. Now, a parent can only teach you what they know. I could only get from my grandmother her experience. So at some point in time, I had to step back and say, you know what? Let me find out this on my own and be careful of how, where I'm getting this from. There are things that I need to know. In other words, I got to grow more because as a young adult coming into the world, and you're only living off of what your community was taught you, what school taught you, the world gonna slap you in the head. It's gonna slap you hard because you got kids coming from Chicago, from New York, from Detroit, from LA. I mean, everywhere, and you right there in their presence, and they're street smart. You could be talked into doing something you don't have any business doing. But if you're taught at home the basics, you ain't gotta worry about your kids. You don't have to worry. You really don't have to worry. They will be okay. But as a parent, you can only do what you can do, the best that you can do. What is I used to say, they can only give you what they know. You can't get any more than what they have to offer you. You can't blame your parents. If they're doing the best that they can, they've done the best that they can.
Right.
But when you become that young adult, you at some point in life, you got to grow up and put some big draws on. That's the best way I can say it. You got to grow up and assume young adults, they struggle more than the children are. And then the ones that are struggling are having. So yes, we
Salute to you.
worry. And Toodles was talking about the technology and everything, all that they're exposed to. That is so true. But Toodles, it's not as bad as we think it is. Um, there were issues in one of the classes last year. The kids were on.
Man, I don't know what's going on. We got a tropical storm still.
No, man. You know what it
Everybody,
is.
everybody cutting out right now. I can still see you, Sigma, or not Sigma. I can still see you, Impossible. Is Queenie still there?
Yeah.
All right, Queenie's still here.
Yeah,
All right, everybody back in now.
coming back. Just a second.
Yeah, I
I
was just.
thought
It
it
was just
was
weird.
me.
It was weird. Like it was like everybody who was just on their phone, dang near, just cut out all at the same time. It was weird.
I'm
Imagine
definitely on
that.
my phone.
You didn't get
All
cut
right,
off?
all right, go
I
ahead.
Hmm.
got cut off.
Yeah, you
I
got
have no
cut
idea
off.
where
We
I left
lost.
off
We
at.
lost Mr. and Mrs. Sigma Uno at the same time. As soon as you dropped, I was just like, "What just happened?"
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. But I don't even know where I
I'm
left
back.
off at. So I'm done.
Okay, all right. Yes, you were talking about how you just saw a video about how this
Oh,
kid started kindergarten and those multiple generations of family there supporting them, and with that, it makes it a lot harder for said child to be like to just really just cut up, knowing that you have all these people that are backing and rooting for the child and everything. I can understand that. I mean, we talk a lot about community. I mean, when you have all this all that support as well, that's being all that support at any time that you're doing something, like my wife, we have a mutual friend, and she's got some kids, and with that, her kids were graduating from one grade going to the next, and there wasn't really anybody there to be there and root them on. And we was like, bet, let's go. So like we all got in the car and went down to the school and was supporting it. So I mean, with her, she's a single mom, and so she was there. My mother-in-law had like a little like they had like a little banner. It was real nice. And I mean, you could see that her daughters was very happy just and excited that there was somebody there. And you can tell that they usually don't have anybody really supporting them. So I mean, when you have that support, whether it is with blood family or even like Bond's family, that it really does it adds a lot to the things that you do in life. And I also feel that it adds that some motivation as well.
and you always have to be. It just can't be that one time. Once you step into that village concept, you got to stay there. You got to stay there. That child has to always know that they have someone that they can reach out to. Always have someone they can
Back.
reach out to. And that
And
was an awesome gesture.
that's that's
You,
that's something you don't see a lot.
no,
That's something you don't see a lot anymore these days, because well, I don't even know why. I don't have an answer for that.
Work,
Do you have an answer for that? Impossible
work,
work.
jobs. Hell
Slave
yeah.
me by another name.
When my granddaughter was in elementary school, at the time I wasn't working and I was, doing side jobs, doing things here and there. But she would always say, Papa, come eat breakfast with me. Come eat lunch with me. And I would walk in there and I would be one of the only black men in there with my grandbaby. I never had that option as a young father because I caused my daughters fatherless pain, so I wasn't in their lives when they were young. So to be able to be there with my granddaughter or my grandson say, Papa, you gonna come eat lunch with me today? And I was like, yeah, yeah, cool. And I go in there now, I see more mothers and fathers in the schools now than I did, 7, 8, 9 years ago. So I would go into an all white school, and then next thing you know, now I start seeing a whole bunch of people coming into class. Because now, guess what? This is a black dude, and he coming in there, he's sitting down eating lunch with his granddaughter. And I still have pictures, and we laugh about that thing today. And that's the power of why she is what she do. She loves art. She loves to draw. So just giving her the tools when she love what she loves. And that's what we got to get down to. Got to just be there. Work got us to the point when we're not able to make engagement with our children, it's
Mhm.
because of work. We're saying I got to go pay these bills. I know my kids want this. I know my kids want that. So we forfeit our power to work.
Bro, we got people that don't work and still won't spend time with their kids.
Now, but
Ooh.
that's a different conversation, Miss Rob. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
whole different
Yep, yep.
conversation. Yeah,
That's
That's
something
a
we
yeah,
can
different
speak
type of
on. Yeah,
neglect. The
yeah,
neglect
yeah,
of
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
parent that's working versus the neglect of a parent that's there is two different types.
there
Like
you go. Yeah.
parents are like I understand that parents have, but they have responsibilities they have to take care of. But I think that's a large reason why I refuse to have kids if I'm not stable. Because if I screw my children, it is my fault.
Mm.
It is my fault
Mm.
because they didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask for me to work 1,000,000 hours a week and they can't read. I tutor at night. I'm teaching eighth graders how to read basic books like Hop on Pop.
Wow.
Their parents would rather pay me monthly than to help their own children learn to read, and they don't enforce it.
Wow.
So, regardless, I mean, it's different types of neglect, but it's still neglect all the same. You decided to have kids. So, if you are in a place where you weren't mentally or emotionally ready to do that, that's still your fault. No matter what you did, no matter how hard you tried. Now, like Miss Eunice said earlier, when you become older, like you have to learn. Like there are things I had to learn to be a functioning adult that my mother never taught me, even though I know she had good intentions and I know she was tired. But it's still her fault that I missed out on things and had to teach myself things that I don't have generational
Mm.
wealth and understanding of credit and things that I had to teach myself because she did not do what she was supposed to do and prepare me for this world. I love her, but it's still her fault. Like, I don't know why parents don't want to be blamed. It is your fault. You brought
Jay.
these children here. So you have to take accountability for the fact that it is your fault. I have a homegirl who hates being touched. And she says all the time, oh, I got to hug him. Because if you treat a woman bad later, it's going to be my fault because I didn't hug him, because I didn't talk to him, because I didn't teach him what is and is not okay. You
That
play a
that's
role
deep.
in like, yeah, you go ahead, my bad. Like,
That's I was just saying that's deep.
drop, drop, drop. Love it. Love it.
But I gotta defend my mom. Matter of fact, I probably need to close the door so she don't hear this. I have to defend my mom. My mom couldn't teach me what she didn't know. She couldn't teach me how to manage something that she didn't have. The school taught me
Mm.
how to manage a checkbook. My grandmother always told me to save. She always taught me to save. And one of the ways she did that was with paying tithes. You give 10% of what you have. And then she broke that. I think they created that, what, that 90, 10, 80, 20 thing. I believe that came from our people, but that's what she taught. But she could only teach me what she knew, only what she
well,
knew and had experienced and was willing to share.
it's
And
in
I
the
can't
Bible,
get mad at
actually.
that. It is,
I
yeah.
found it. I
I
found it
can't.
was in the Bible. It's like supposed to be a tenth of your harvest. It actually is. I don't know if it was added in 1963, like homosexuality was added, but it's in there because I looked. because I was like, where they get this 10% from? But it's a tenth of your harvest. It's
Yeah.
supposed to go
And
to
it doesn't
honor
have to be
God.
money.
It
Right. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have
doesn't.
to be money.
Doesn't.
It can be your time. It could be it can be your time, it can be your talent, because you may not have money. Because back in those days and well up into my age, that was this thing called bartering. It wasn't always about money because our people didn't have that kind of money. But if say if Toodle's mom had the quilt making ability and my mom had the chicken farm or whatever, they would actually swap for swap. Well, you know what? You make me
Hmm.
a quilt because my family need it for the winter, and I'm going to supply you with these eggs or milk or butter or whatever the case may be. That and they would also take that and pretty much give it to the church, because the churches at that time were taking care of the neighborhoods. They were taking care of people, and that they knew who needed what, and that was what they could give. If they had money, they would give it. It's not always about money, because money is why we're in the position, our children are in the position they're in,
Facts.
because we're and I'm gonna say something that I would tell a young person now. If you are going to pursue working for a company, make sure that company is family friendly. If you got to work from home to take care of your kids, not neglect your job, but to be there with your children and not miss any work, that's the kind of company you need to work with. A company that's going to support your family. But to work for someone that if you miss a day off, how shall I say it? It's more like a slavery, being driven by slavery. If you're not here, you're not going to get paid. If you don't do this, you're not going to get paid. If you're not going to get promoted. It's just so much that's put onto that. And it forces you to put your family second when put your family third, when in all actuality, they should be second. So the choices that we're making as young adults, we need to look at that. But again, my kids can't give their children no more than what I have given them, in a certain sense of laying a foundation, but they are also responsible for getting more as they become, before they become parents. They should have more wisdom added onto their plate. But I can't blame my mom. She did the best that she could do. She really did a good job, because she took me out of New York and sent me to North Carolina. That's the best thing she could do for me.
I mean,
The
it's
best
not
thing.
about necessarily blaming your mother, though. It's about being a person as a parent who decide to have children and taking accountability. Because just like I said, I understand how my mother was tired. She was doing it by herself. There were things that, she maybe should have reached out to others for help more in and stuff like that. And the things that she taught me is what she know, including religion. But at the same time, you have to take accountability for the things that you still failed in the ways you still failed your children. Because if you don't know something, I can't fault you for not knowing. No. But did you have the ability to learn and you were focused on other things? Did you have the ability to see, maybe check to see why my grades are changing, or why your son is staying out later, or why your daughter is, what do girls do, like sneaking out and stuff like that? I was scared. I couldn't sneak out. I would get, boy, my mom used to check on me while I was asleep, boy. But but it like, because I know I tried it once. That kind of flashed in my head. That was a trigger. Um but the things that your children do, and these things you aren't noticing, and these things you aren't paying attention to, again, like, we're all faulty. We're all faulty. When I do eventually have kids, I'm going to make mistakes because I don't know everything. But it's about taking accountability for it. It's
Yes.
about being like, well, you can't blame your parents. No, you absolutely can. I'm blaming you because you were inept in this situation and you couldn't take accountability for it. Take accountability for it, because you brought me here. I didn't ask to come, and I'm
Can I
done.
piggyback on that right quick?
Come
So
on, Hope.
I'm gonna take this I'm gonna take this one step further and understand that we're talking about soul contracts. When you say they're to blame for it, well, if we're gonna go that far, they to blame for it, you to blame for it, because you chose your mother and your father. You the soul. And if your mother didn't do what she did, you wouldn't be the woman that you are right now today. So we may look at it, and as Miss Robin said earlier, she did the best what she know how to do. Well, I know my mother who raised me did the best that she know how to do. She was at work.
Yep.
She did the best she know how to do, and I had never want for nothing. If I ain't want for Jack. Mm. I had everything. We went on vacations every year. When it came to psychological or emotional, okay, now that's different. But when I say she did the best she know how to do, she did the best she know how to do. Now, again, you can't teach what you don't know. I told my daughter that years ago when she had her first daughter. I said, understand, you're not able to teach what you don't know. So the more you learn, the more you can teach. That's why I'm able to teach what I can teach, because the more I understood. So when we come to us coming into this realm as avatars and we coming into this here, we souls in spirit first. You chose your mother and father. Would you believe I chose my mother, and when my mother birthed me in 1974, she passed in 1976. And I asked myself for many, many years, why would I choose to not know my mother? She said, I didn't want you to know love until you really knew me. And so for a long time, I was afraid of love and I never paid any attention to love. But what is my greatest strength today? My greatest strength is love. So the thing that I denied for so long now is my anchor. And it's because of my mother. It wasn't her absence, it was her
Mm-mm-mm.
presence. So we are souls. And you wouldn't be the soul that you are. That's why you're able to teach eighth graders how to read. Because of your soul, the passion, the love you have. You chose right because look at the woman that you are. That's all I'm gonna say to that.
Big up, big
I
up,
mean, if
big
you
up.
want to go the
That was
the soul
good.
contract route, then yeah, I can understand what you're saying.
Hmm.
But again, my mother apologized to me
Hmm.
because she took accountability for her failings. That's what she did. And even though I may have
Rightfully
chosen
so.
her, and I know for a fact, just like y'all say about y'all parents, my mama, I know for a fact my mama did the best she could. I watched her. I used to take her keys from her so she wouldn't be able to go out and go do and da 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 because it was just like relax. Jesus Christ. She got on the Saturday pants. That's what we used to call them when we was little, her Saturday pants, which means we finna do a lot of stuff today. Her Saturday pants was always some pair of knickerbockers or knee knockers, I guess people call them. Cause that mean we finna either be outside doing something or we finna go run errands. And I know my mother did the best she could. She had two kids, adopted another one, and with a dead husband. I know she did the best she
Mm.
could. But my mother also recognized her failings and how it caused me to be detached or my personality. And she apologized for that because, like, your mom and Mr. Possible, she can't apologize for dying. Like, things happen
Right.
like that, like her absence. Like, I'm not upset at my father for dying, you know?
I was
That is what you was upset at your mom for dying?
for a long time. I had anger issues really bad. But continue. Don't. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how to rationalize that in my head being upset with a person that died cuz I mean unless
Because
they chose to.
as a child, you don't understand death.
Again.
All you understand is being left
Right.
alone. You don't understand.
But
I
when
was
I was
two.
well, get but see that my mother
I was only two.
explained to me when my father died. Well, yeah, when you was
Yeah.
2, I was 3 when my father died.
But no,
But
no one explained death to me. This is what they taught me. Get over it. Life goes on. Okay.
So I want to say something real quick. I feel like this is the perfect
Hmm.
time. Take a second
Oh,
to speak to
perfect.
your younger self. What would you tell?
Take a
What would
second to
you tell
speak to
you?
my.
Yeah, what would you tell your younger self? This is. I want all of us to think about this.
I would tell my younger self to go back and study history, connect to your heritage, and understand your inheritance from spirit, soul, and body, and embrace things that empowers you forever. That's what I would
Mm.
tell my younger self. To love immensely yourself that you can pour out that same love to others. See, I knew what I was missing when I was young because I was so angry. So the opposite of all that anger is all this love. And nobody can do shit to stop it. It just pours. So I would tell my younger self, hey man, don't let nothing stop you from loving you. And learn and know your heritage, know your history, know your inheritance, and know that you are divine being. They don't tell us that we are true spiritual beings. I would tell myself from the start, know that you God when you come out the womb. Know you God. I didn't say the God. Say know you God. The same essence of God flows within me, flows within all of us on this panel. That I would tell my young self so much right now that empowers him. And I would never have any doubt of self-worth or no self-love. It would never enter my mind because I would have been empowered since I was 2 years old. That's why I teach my grandkids what I teach them. So that's what I tell my younger self. Be empowered, always enhance.
My younger self, I would say you cannot want something for anybody else more than they should want it for themselves. It doesn't matter if you have it to give. If they do not want it for themselves, you will be giving until you can give no more, and they still will not have a grasp of it. You will be pouring into a paper cup with the bottom cut out.
Mm.
Use that energy for something else.
I would tell my younger self first what Mrs. Sigma Uno said. Please don't be trying to love these hoes, bro. Like, leave these people alone. You cannot want for them what they don't want. Also, I would tell myself, don't worry so much about what others think. And I would also, I would
Yes,
also
I can
tell
hear you.
myself, you can hear me?
I think
Hmm.
was Impossible asking if we can hear him. Oh snap! Okay. Woo! All right. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
so, and I
Continue,
would,
Queenie.
I was like, can you hear me? Oh God. But I will also tell, tell myself, invest in Google. Don't study psychology because you don't want to know minds. No, go to
Mm.
computer school because you good with computers. Do that.
Oh man! Oh man! Oh man! I'm sorry. Just had a quick little moment.
What type of moment?
I'll talk about it afterwards. I could have swore I heard Impossible, but I wasn't hearing Impossible.
Is it
Anyway,
an echo
no,
when I
I
that's
wasn't even
talk? Or?
speaking.
that's nothing like that. But with it,
Oh,
I'm gonna go ahead and I thought I heard Impossible, but I did not hear Impossible.
y'all got telepathy, bitch,
Oh
and
God.
y'all not trying to tell nobody about y'all powers. I feel some type
Mr.
of way.
Sigma Uno. There's one thing that my grandma told me. She was like, "Look, things that go on with you, don't tell the world about the things that you know, or some of the things that you know, some of the things that you can do." But Mr. Sigma Uno, if you could go back and if you could tell your younger self anything, what would it be? Go
As
ahead.
much as you serve the world, 1% of the people that you're serving will probably never love you, never care about you.
Mm.
They only care about what you can do for them.
Damn.
Love yourself,
Ouch.
care about the family that's around you, take care of the people that you actually feel love from. But dealing with community is one thing. Recognizing the problem and trying to fix the problem is one thing. Putting yourself out there and not realizing or hoping that everyone that you encounter is going to love you or give you love, it's unrealistic. Because if they're hurting, they're not going to see it at all. They're not going to see what you're doing for them. They're not going to feel what you're doing for them at all. They're going to take it and they're going to keep going. So you have to have enough love for yourself. You have to care about yourself enough to know that what you're doing is enough and you are enough and that you're resilient. And that's what the reason why you're still alive. That you've been through events, but you're still alive. You've been through the death of your father, been through the death of other family members. You are taught to just move the hell along and live. No one takes time to pour into you. You gotta love yourself. At the end of the day, that's it. Because I've worked it too long. I've worked it too long to sit and say that everybody around you is going to love you for what you do. And that came from a disposition of being raised. I was raised that way because when the fire started, I was thrown under the bus and I was made to work. My mom didn't love me for me; she loved me for what I could do for her. My siblings didn't love me for me; they loved me for what they can do for what I can do for them. And that began a pattern of everybody that I encountered. The same thing happened over and over again until I realized I had that energy and I had to push back from it. But it happens because the thing that you feel like you're doing and you feel like thing that you feel like you're doing and it's the most endearing thing to want to help somebody, but Truth of the matter is, again, this is when you're hurting, when people are hurting, they cannot see, feel, touch, or understand what's happening. All they know is a need is being filled. And until they can focus and see that it's you, they don't even have an opportunity to care or love you. You have to love yourself. You got to be filled up enough that it doesn't matter whether anybody does or not.
Damn. Okay.
Love it.
Judith, take a second and speak to your younger self. What would you want to tell your younger self?
Mm. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know because you know I'm at a different age, and I often wonder if I had took a left turn opposed to a right turn, where would I be? But it doesn't matter because I am where I am, and you
Hmm.
can't change it. And sometimes trying to go back and change, or thinking about changing, it actually it'll ruin your present. So I'm in the present right now. But Queenie says something where I have to go back. I would go back to when I was in high school. I think I was a sophomore, junior in high school. And my English teacher was asking the kids in the class what did they want to be when they grew up. And I told her I wanted to be a psychologist. And she told me, she said, "Oh, no, you don't want to be that. You'll end up crazy." And I listened to her. And if it was anything, and it's not too late, it's definitely not too late, I would continue and move forward to that doctorate in psychology that I'm a step away from to do that because that's what I'm good at. And my goal was to combine the two, psychology and theology. That's what I'm good at. That would be the only thing that I would go back and tell myself is don't believe the hype. We put so much in back then we put so much into what the teachers were saying and not believing in what we could really do. But that was just high school. Anything that I did as a young adult, I can't change that. And I don't even think about it. What would I tell myself? It wouldn't matter because what's done is done. I just have to make today better than yesterday or build off of what I already have. And I always say the positive or the negative has got to be the positive and move forward. Just keep moving. Keep moving. Just do better.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Swimming,
I
swimming,
can.
swimming,
I
swimming.
can. Yes. You're going to build some muscles. Keep swimming. Yeah. So I guess I can
I,
speak to my high school days, not my young adult. I speak to my high school days.
we didn't specify where in your youth. Just what would you tell your younger
Okay.
self? So I mean, that's the younger
Don't
self.
believe the hype. Don't believe the
Okay.
hype. Don't believe the hype. If you want to do something, do it. If you want to do something, do it. Because if it's just your passion, if it's your gift, you're going to end up doing it anyway. Why not sooner than later?
Mm, agreed. Agreed. For me, what would I tell my younger self? Oof, there's a couple different things. I think the biggest one, hey, as I became a man, I put childish things behind me. But looking back at it, like I would have to say, don't allow your emotions to dictate your actions. Like that, I would have to say that would be the biggest thing, due to the fact that a lot of situations I've been in was because of the fact that I reacted off of the emotion side rather than actually thinking it through. And there's a lot of things that could have been done differently. So I would say that would be one of the bigger one. That's one thing I would tell my younger self is do not react off of your emotions. Do not allow your emotions to dictate your actions. Was that television? What am I hearing? Tell me somebody else hears it.
I heard that.
What are you hearing?
Okay, I
It's
don't
some
know.
it's some background chatter. It's some
Okay,
I heard
background
it.
chatter.
all
Oh,
right. Just make sure
because
I'm not
I'm
crazy.
outside.
Yeah, I
No,
don't.
because I'm outside.
That's why I'm confused because I'm like everybody else is muted and I ain't got nothing on, so I'm just like, what's going on? What's happening? All right. Anyway, but hey, I'm not the only one that heard it this time, so we good. Why Mrs. Sick Moon got a finger over her mouth?
Because she probably said
Yeah,
you're both
I was
crazy.
She already
listen.
know I'm crazy.
All I was telling
I
y'all
said,
is if y'all hearing something, y'all could be hearing what's in the background because I'm outside. That's the best I can tell you.
okay. I mean, all right, Pasa Doble. But yes, that's what I would say to my younger self. Now, with it, woo, I want to go ahead and hit this last one. If you could say anything to your parents, what would it be? I'm going to start with
You
any
don't have to tell me
mini.
everything. I don't need to know everything. Everything is not a necessity. I need you to tell me I am not your friend and act as if I am not your friend.
Mm.
We look
Well,
alike, we wear the same size, and all that is great. We are not friends.
Would you tell him this as a child or as an adult?
oh,
To be honest with you, I probably should have said it as a child.
Okay,
It was
gotcha.
a thought as a child.
Mm.
can we have Mr. Sigma Uno turn on his device? Because we hear you echoing through it. All you gotta do is just
Wow,
turn the
Taylor, I
volume down.
love that comment. I love that. That's deep. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
facts.
I remember my mom telling me
Angel.
that. Remember, I'm your mother, not your best friend.
Amen.
You said and act like it.
Well, because again, my mom was 18 when she had me. So she was still a teenager, flesh out. In fact, I did my mom's whole senior year with her. I was in all the cheerleading competitions. I was in all the parades. I was in the Afro Princess pageant. I was in all of that. School got out in June. I was born in July. We look exactly alike to this day. If people don't know that she is deceased, they just start talking to me as if we went to school together. So yeah, I'm not your little friend. I'm not a baby doll because was the only girl forever until my aunt had a daughter, and by the time my aunt had a daughter, I was a teenager. So yeah,
Jesus.
not your little friend. I'm not your baby doll. Everything along those lines. That's the direction I would go. That's how the conversation would probably start.
Well, we'll leave it there because Mr. Sigma Uno. I don't hear you. You still say something? You just you just muted yourself. Unmute. There we go.
Are you there?
Yep.
Okay. The conversation with my dad will be a bit different from my mom because I don't know. I mean, my before I say this, I have to say my understanding is when you have children, you understand that the DNA from is from both parents, right? So at some point, you have to reflect on yourself and see that
Hmm.
in your children, right? I
Yes.
had to take the same step back and reflect on my kids and make a determination of what DNA, what came from what DNA. I'm sorry that life happened the way that it did, and that you left us too soon. All the hope that I'm doing things according to how you would like them to be done. It's kind of faded a bit because I realized the life that you were walking was a lot different from the life that I'm walking now. You had a support system that we just didn't have. When I say we, I mean my brothers and sisters. My mom, I realized that you were left with 9 kids and no support on either side of the family. The things that happened in your custody hurt like hell, physically and mentally and emotionally, but I understand where it came from. And I understand you were trying to be a mom to 6 boys and 3 girls, and nobody really supported. So I get that. I can't be angry about that. But I regret that we didn't have a conversation before you passed away. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's
All
as
right.
far as I could go with that conversation with either one
Yep.
of them.
Miss Queenie.
Well, I would just say what I said to my mother, that I am very grateful for her existence because there are a lot of terrible, that includes terrible mothers in the world. And while I wish she would have opened up and talked to me more about things that were going on, because I told her I already adapted having to burden things for myself. So I feel like if I would have had a teammate in some things, then, or if my mother at least understood me, then things would have went differently. And I would also tell her that, well, that I did, well, what I told her is that I would not have another mother. Despite the issues that I have with her, I would not have another mother because she is genuinely just a kind, good person. And I couldn't. I guess going out and living in the world at the time when I was talking to her about it after I had went to therapy and stuff. I told her that because a lot of just aren't good. They're not genuinely kind people. And I'm grateful that she raised me to be a kind person. Even though I'm not nice, I am kind.
Mm-hmm.
And that I love her. And if she ever need me, just let me know. And she does. Oh my gosh. I'm like, oh my gosh. She be calling me while I'm at work, Lord, talking. She be like, oh, I need the Google code. Ma'am, I told you just put your email on your tablet. Like, and she for little stuff. Like she won't just call me and ask for money like regular parents. Jesus. But just everything that I told her, just like how grateful I am for her and how grateful for the opportunity that, she allowed me to air my grievances because a lot of parents don't even be trying to hear it because they feel like they did the best that they could. And and I was just, I was grateful for her because she allowed that door to be open and she allowed us to walk through it together. And I still think that she should stop participating in Christianity because it's indoctrination to keep black people enslaved. But that's a
Oh
different thing that
God.
we deal
Oh
with every
God.
week.
Oh God. So impossible. Before we go down that trip, you're muted, boss. All right, gotcha.
I would actually say nothing. The man that I am today, just to piggyback on Miss Robin said, I would say something to my younger self, but if I had to go back and say anything to my parents, I wouldn't, because I would not know love in the capacity I know love now if
Mm-hmm.
I said anything different to my mama. No, no. She came for her mission. He did it. My father came, he came for his mission, he did it. I talked to my father already once. I already had my conversation, so I don't got to go back and say what would I say as a child. I had that one-on-one conversation with him when I was a grown man. I'm good. So no, I wouldn't say nothing, but I wouldn't know love the way I know love today if I went back and if my mother was alive, I wouldn't know love. No love now. It was the absence that made love so strong. So no,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got nothing. Only
Mm-hmm.
thing if I had to say anything, I done tell my mama 1,000 times I love her. So yeah, that's it.
Beautiful. Judith,
Yes, sir. I
you
would
could.
I would tell three. It's three of them that I would speak to. I
Mhm.
was raised by my grandmother, and I would tell her that I apologize for not taking care of her financially when I left home. But
Mm.
I didn't know how to start with the end in mind. I didn't know how to start with the end in mind. I would tell my mom, I would tell my mom that she taught me how to care for her based on how she cared for her mom. I would tell my dad, you planted in my heart that all men lie based on the lies that you told me. I have
Mm.
family members out there that I have siblings that I didn't even know I had until my brother died, and we were very close in age. I'm a big family person, and I didn't get to know him. And it's just like
Mm.
people were thrown on you. And I spent a lot of time in the city, and we could have easily ran across each other and didn't even know who we were, who each other was. So I hold some resentment towards him for that. I won't say resentment. I understand him to be who he is, but it was no need to withhold information. No, don't lie. Tell the truth. Tell
Yes.
the truth because
Okay.
family matters. But that's it. That's what I would tell
Great.
them. And like you said, oh bro, I'm telling you, love. I didn't have a lot. I'm like Shirley Caesar, and yes, I believe in God. I don't have a lot, but that greasy bag that I took to school was filled with love, and that was all I needed. That was all I needed.
Yeah.
That was all I needed.
For me, what would I tell my parents? I would tell my dad,
You right
which
there.
say what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I would tell my dad, which
Mr. Impossible, my thoughts exactly.
oh
Yeah.
nah, I would tell my biological father, which I kind of already have told him that you have a second chance. I'm like, you have a second chance,
Mm,
and
mm,
the only way that you can fail is by never trying. And for for my mom, I would just say thank you. I mean, you did the best that you could. Parenthood does not come with a freaking instruction book. So
Yeah.
with it, you doing the best that you could, and ultimately the child, when your child grows up, how you feel about them will tell you how you raised them. So I mean, if you are proud of them, you did a good job. If you're looking at them like, dang, what the hell happened? That's a self-reflection moment. But for my mom, I have to say thank you, because I like to think that I turned out to a pretty decent. Not gonna lie, I hate everybody equally, but I turned out to a pretty decent. The things that, looking back at it now, I feel like I was sheltered, and realized at one point that I was, and decided to go out on my own and stop being that, stop being sheltered. If that makes sense. I was
Sure.
I was I was definitely protected in many ways, and therefore made it piqued my curiosity, because me being sheltered sometimes made me feel like I was not truly loved. Boom, 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 boom. What we about to do right now is we about to go ahead and the closings. Y'all ready for this? The gratitude and what you
Yeah.
learn. So with that, if
Let me go.
possible,
My
you already know.
Yeah. Let me go first with my gratitude
Okay. All
because
right.
I got to go and grab these grands of
Most
mine.
love. Most definitely.
Uh,
Yeah, it is. It is a little
I
late.
want to say I do want to say that my gratitude, as always, being able to be a part of the panel, to listen at everyone's perspective, it really does resonate with what life really has to offer right now, and everyone shares with compassion so much of what they understood, what they learned. When people sharing things about their family and their own emotions and their mental states, their emotional states, that's what I'm most grateful for, because a lot of people don't even know their own mental state. They don't even know their own emotional state. So to be able to express that and not be angry, to be at a place of love and understanding and compassion, that I am so grateful to be a part of a panel in the community like this, where others can really share every aspect of themselves, and no one look at you and be like, I don't know why they think that way. Who do you think he is because he think that way? And so I'm so greatly appreciative of the friends that have turned into family. I have nothing but brothers and sisters on here. I love everyone. There's nothing that no one can call me with and said, "Hey, can you do so and so for me?" I'm cranking up and I'm on my way. I promise you. It's just a phone call away. So I'm just thankful. And what I learned is a lot of us be talking that shit on our parents. Y'all better cut that out. Y'all better respect your parents. Everything that you are is because of your parents, good or what you may call bad. It's all because of your parents. So even though you want to talk that ish about what your parent did or what they didn't do, what they shouldn't do, remember, what are you doing? And if you're not doing something better, close your mouth and have a little gratitude.
Dig
Peace,
ye without
power,
sin,
and
cast the
light.
first stone. Respect. Thank
Close
you.
your
Thank
mouth.
you. Thank you.
Peace.
Stay easy. Queenie. Sorry, I was trying to
Um,
pull you up, but right when he moved, there we
oh,
go.
it's okay. So I am grateful to be able to be on the panel, hear people's thoughts. Just to go a little bit off what he said, even if you are doing better than your parents, still show them gratitude because you could have been aborted or swallowed. Remember
Bruh.
that. And they could have gave you up for adoption. I'm just being honest because there are lots of children in the system who don't even get to go to families, like to people that
True.
know them. And there's a lot of bad that still happens in families, but even if you are doing better, still show gratitude to your parents. Um I'm grateful that I got to hear from people who have children because despite what I learned about the development of children, the only hood worse than adulthood is parenthood. And while I may not be a parent, I know a lot of parents that and they talk about how difficult it is when, like they were saying earlier, when you don't understand things and when your children have needs that you're afraid that you can't fulfill. or when you're stressed out. So I'm grateful that I got to hear from people that actually have children, and I learned that that more grace should be given to parents
Mm-hmm.
because they don't know what they don't know. And even despite me feeling that they should take accountability, at the same time they should, but they don't know what they don't know. So you have to, parents are, they were individuals first, and I learned the importance of, just, well, I've been knew it, but it got refreshed in my brain. I don't spend a lot of money in therapy, that they were
Yes.
people first. They were people first, and we have to remember that parents were people before they were parents. And oftentimes they are sacrificing, not just physically, but financially and mentally and emotionally to put you first. And that's important to look at that. Yeah, that's it.
Sigma Uno.
My gratitude is, of course, for the platform. Appreciate the ability to come on and conversate with such great minds and that are evolving and creating. This subject was pretty rough for me, and the reason why is because when I feel like because I've lived between eras. You almost watch the damage in all of them when it comes to being raised. I mean, there's a lot of good things about my family. When I was growing up, a lot of good things about my father. My mother went through a lot of things physically, mentally, and emotionally. But for the most part, this is a self-reflection point. I needed it. I appreciate the opportunity to hear everyone else what the things that they've gone through and how they're raised and their concept of child raising. Nobody's perfect. I don't think there is, considering the system that we live in. But for the most part, I've learned that regardless of who your parents are, they are your gateway to this world.
Oh man, he dropped out like as soon as he said that. He's been having issues. We got a storm coming, so it's been knocking out connectivity, which I understand now why everybody's stuff was cutting out at the same time. But with it, for me, the gratitude and what I learned, I wanted to end it with this story called "The Wooden Bowl." It's from a book called Science for Life. It starts with a frail man went to live with his son, daughter-in-law, and 4-year-old grandson. The old man's hands trembled, his eyesight was blurred, and his step faltered. The family ate together at the table, but the elderly grandfather's shaky hands and failing sight made eating difficult. Peas rolled off his spoon onto the floor. When he grasped the glass, milk spilled on the tablecloth. The son and daughter-in-law became irritated with the mess. We must do something about father, said the son. I've had enough of his spilled milk, noisy eating, and food on the floor. So the husband and wife set a small table in the corner. There, grandfather ate alone while the rest of the family enjoyed dinner. Since grandfather had broken a dish or two, his food was served in a wooden bowl. When the family glanced in grandfather's direction, sometimes he had a tear in his eye as he sat alone. Still, the only words the couple had for him were sharp admonitions when he dropped a fork or spilled food. The 4-year-old watched in silence. One evening before supper, the father noticed his son playing with wood scraps on the floor. He asked the child, "What are you making?" The boy responded, "Oh, I'm making a little bowl for you and mom to eat your food in when I grow up." The 4-year-old smiled and went back to work. The word struck the parents so that they were speechless. Then tears started to stream down their cheeks. Though no word was spoken, both knew what must be done. That evening, the husband took the grandfather's hand and gently led him back to the family table. And for some reason, neither the husband nor wife seemed to care any longer when a fork was dropped, milk spilled, or the tablecloth soiled. I've learned that no matter what happens, how bad it seems today, life does go on and it will be better tomorrow. I've learned that you can tell a lot about a person's character by the way he or she handles themselves with the following 4 things: a rainy day, the elderly, lost luggage, and tangled Christmas tree lights. Regardless of your relationship with your parents, you will miss them when they are gone. Life sometimes gives you a second chance. Don't go through life with a catcher's mitt on both hands. You need to be able to throw something back. You need to focus on your family and friends and do the best you can. Let us always meet each other with a smile, for the smile is the beginning of love. With that, This was an episode of Divine Time. I thank everybody who made it through. If y'all stuck all the way to the end, please, all I ask is for some comments. I want to know what I can do to make this podcast better. I want to make it to where everybody can learn something from it, everybody gets something from it, but also at the same time, I want everybody listening to be able to add something to it as well. So with that, you can reach out to me at Donnelly at divinetime.blog.